everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and we are back. And what are we going to do on a Wednesday? We're going to talk about a Star Trek comic book, right? I mean, what else could we possibly do with our time? And so, as we do, we go to the local comic book store and see what we can find. And we were lucky enough to find something new and something old, but also something new. So we will start with the brand new Last Starship here that just came out. So here, get a closer look at it here. Now, first off, this is number 4. All right. So I did not get the full 1 through 3. I think maybe I just got 1, to be honest with you. I'll have to look back at my previous videos, but I was missing a piece of the story. But that's fine, because apparently this comic is set up to be a series of 3-part stories that are, not completely connected, right? So this number 4 here is starting a new story with this very sad-looking orange fellow with the white hair here. So let's just kind of jump in and see what's going on. Now, I have already read this, and I kind of went back and read it again, because to be honest, I felt a little confused. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. There's some kind of time dilation stuff, so yeah, I might need your guys' help a little bit here. So, all right, let's get into this. And it's not going to be a full-on, let's look at every page, every panel, but we will get into it. So basically what happened here, in the last one, the Klingon radicals did some damage to the Earth. Captain Sato, a resurrected James Kirk, and the USS Omega defeated the Klingons, but Earth was really messed up, and they have chosen to leave the Federation, and the Omega's human first officer, Wowie Carter, is now torn between 2 worlds. What will Wowie do, right? So here we go. We join Wowie, and he's doing his routine exercises, giving his personal log. He's not afraid. I'll kind of leave that up there if you guys want to read it. But as you can see, he's kind of going through his morning routine. And, to be honest, I'm kind of a fan of the way they set these panels up here. But anyway, he's questioning things. He's wondering, with the humans leaving the Federation and him being the first officer on the Omega, what's he going to do? What future could possibly remain? And here is the answer. The name of the planet is Babel. Alright, so here's where we're going to have to actually kind of pay attention, right? This is where they're laying out the story for us. So we really do have to, I really got to get in here. Sorry, kitty. Okay. Here we, oh man, this is actually pretty good. Okay, yep, look at that. So, Babel, Journey to Babel, they've done a lot of peace talks there. And they are setting up a new peace talk. Thank you, Wowie. So here's the problem. Without a reliable fleet, or Dilithium, member worlds are receiving almost no support. Those that have already battered may now break. And as Earth gives us only 50 years to comply with their demand for independence and leave the Sol system, central infrastructure and resource distribution will need an entirely new methodology and headquarters. That it being Babel, the Babel Conference, will determine exactly that. Okay. So I kind of get it now a little bit here. All right, so let's read on. All right, here we have Agnes from Picard Season 2. She is the one that kind of helped resurrect Kirk, and there's also a Ferengi here. They will be the bus for the delegates from 1,000 worlds. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's the idea, but there's a bit of a issue here. The Borg have a different relationship with time. They use transwarp here, so they are able to, still travel faster than light, and the rest of the world or the rest of the universe, galaxy cannot, So for us, also, here's the gist of it, So for those who are on the Omega, it's a 4-month mission. But for everyone else, it will take 23 years. And then everyone's kind of silent for a second. And I guess what they, okay, maybe I'm, all right, third time through, maybe I'm starting to get what they're saying here now, okay? So, the problem is they've got to get all these delegates off of Earth, right? Earth is kicking them out, they're closing the door, they're evicting them, and they got to go, right? So now, they have got to get everybody off of Earth, and the only ship they can do it is the Omega, right, with the trans warp. So that's the assignment, people. You want to serve aboard the last starship in the fleet. It's going to take everything from you, but at the end, we'll hold together the future, and we'll live to walk once more in the fields of utopia. Then this guy, I'm going to owe a lot of people a lot of Latin. I like that. I like that guy. Tell your departments if they've got shore leave to take it. If they have family, say their goodbyes. Today we live the lives we thought we'd have before the burn. You know, going out on deep space missions and stuff, right? Tomorrow we get to work. So, man. Here they go. So this is kind of the, this is one of the most interesting parts kind of I liked about this, right? So now we join Wowie. Here's Wowie. He's going home to see his family the night before the mission. And as you can see, here's Earth. And Earth has been devastated. There's been some stuff going on here, obviously. They have a holographic or an android butler here at this point. And they appear to be very kind of affluent citizens of Earth. Anyway, let's have another look at this panel right here. Carter House, Earth, 3070. Still, devastated by some recent attack, right? So, basically his mom is, very much happy to see him. They go to sit down to dinner, and, and we'll not get into the whole thing. Let's do like a wide shot here. Basically, the mom and dad, they want him to stay and focus on Earth, while he is putting his duty with Starfleet ahead of all that, right? And then at the end, he says, "You're afraid." And then there's silence. And then this is what the guy says, right? And it kind of makes sense, right? Warp cores, Wowie. They fell from the sky. Entire cities rendered to ash. Were we not supposed to be afraid? Fear is never the correct emotion, Dad. You taught me that every day of my life. Even your father is wrong sometimes. He's only human. We all are. Even you. Someday you'll understand. Wowie. Wowie. You'll get it someday, Wowie. Anyway, so here's your map. 5 years later, 18 years until the new Babel conference. Perception of time aboard the USS Omega due to transwarp time dilation, 1 month. So, Wowie feels like he's been gone for 1 month. But that is not the case. 5 years have passed, and he knows this. That was part of the deal. Okay, so now look at this. Now we're back. 5 years have passed. 3075. Earth has restored itself. Right? You can see that they've built up the damaged area. They're building up their cities again over here. It's looking pretty good. And now, android and non-human staff were reassigned because this Dr. Carter, his dad, is a very critical and important doctor here on Earth, right? So as you can see, the mom's gotten a little bit older. Of course, he is just, 1 month later, so nothing's changed there. He visited his room, and she kept it the same for the past 5 years. And he finds his old phaser that his dad made him with James T. Kirk's autograph, even though his dad was actually the one that signed it. And his dad was the one that made it. Piece by piece. No part replicated. He just wanted you to feel brave. Isn't that nice? So here's one of Carter's friends. He's going out to meet her for dinner. This is Solara. and she is in a bit of a weird situation right now. And of course, Earth is too. Look, they're getting rid of all non-Earth tech, so no replicators. They're going back to just regular food. So that's interesting. But anyway, she is being expelled from Earth, right? So she is not quite very happy with that situation. And she's kind of explaining that. Oh yeah, basically she's taking his ship out. They're on that's like the last ship out, right? And again, it's a same old story, right? But it's going to be like a turnaround story. I'm kind of feeling here. Well, probably not, right? But yeah, where are they going to go with this story? I guess because we know how Earth ends up, and they do stay separated from the Federation until they rejoin in like the late seasons of Discovery. So I guess these 3 episodes we're going to be all about Wowie here, right? Lately, he's been feeling. Okay, yeah, basically, so she was previously the first officer. She kind of stepped down to let him take over. And he's not feeling completely confident. Last minute schedule change, he's being called back. And, he's being called back to his dad. And he's got to meet him for dinner or whatever, But anyway, they'll see each other later on the ship. But something is not right with her. Because he says everything's going to be fine, and she says, no, it isn't. So, something going on with Solara there. Not unless we do something. And you can see the bustling diner there of Earth. So now we are 13 years later, 5 years until the new Babel Conference. And they have now been away for 3 months. Within their time perception, right? Check this out. Boom, look at Earth now. Now they built this dome. They've got this bustling city back here. And it's a sad time. Don't be afraid, Wowie. It looks as if someone has passed away. I'm going to assume it must have been his father. Oh, you can see here they've got like the dome around the planet or whatever, the shield here. Yeah, so it looks like Dad has passed away, and he's back for the funeral here. And they cannot control the future. They can only live in it until it's done with us. Okay, it makes sense. So he listens to a final message from his dad here. Your father loves you. So, I don't know, this is kind of an interesting little interaction he has with just kind of this guy on a bench. He's just kind of like munching away at his sandwich, too. I like the way the guy is munching his sandwich, and then the way he shakes the sandwich at him to emphasize his point. Throwing a little bit of a tomato at him there. And then he asks him a question. Sure, why not? What do you think about the future? What do you hope for? And, these are very good things. Family's safe. Hope you have enough to work to keep food on the table. You got your health, and my kids too. These are all important things, and kind of things you would worry about. Then he asks, what about the future of humanity? And then the dude's just kind of silent. And he gets up and walks away. And it makes that guy sad. He's wanting to kind of them to be a little bit more, right? So then here, they were at some kind of memorial there, probably for the people lost in that Klingon battle. And he beams up, but he leaves the childhood phaser behind in a poignant moment, right? And then he meets up with the captain, and he's trying to say that I believe that Kirk. What is he trying to say here? It should be him, Kirk. He showed it above Earth during the burn. His experience was invaluable, and you heard his voice when the rest of the crew learned about the time dilation. Everyone knows he's been dead for 6 centuries. He has nothing to lose. You've been my first officer for 2 years. Wowie, stepping back isn't necessary. You're sure about this recommendation? I am. I wish I wasn't. which is how I know I am. You're a remarkable human, Wowie. Let's see. I babble now. I hope that's still true, sir. So as you can see on Babbel, they are working hard to establish the site of the conference, right? The big conference to determine what are they going to do. And here is Solara. I think the coloring is weird. And look at that. She's joining something. She's joining up with something to be continued. So we're left kind of not knowing what in the world is actually going on here, right? Oh man, that's kind of cool. Do you guys like that? I like that cover. I like that hand and the knife. That is cool. Okay. And then here's this guy again. That's the cover. He's so sad. He's a sad guy, but I guess you can see why he's sad, right? Oh no, look at this. A closed Earth is a safe Earth. Boo. Then we got a ship's log in the back. Some previews here, some things to come. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Nice. Anything else? Collections of things. You got the Lore War, Shax's Best and Worst Day. Oh, that was cover B. That's cool. Okay. Alright, and Godzilla on the back. Hey, Godzilla on my shirt, too. Look at that. That's cool. Alright, anyway, that was the Last Starship. Different. Very different. Something that the time dilation bit of it is cool. I like that. And I guess I'm interested to see where this is going. And I guess I didn't realize this was going to be such a... these separate stories, right? Which I like. So hopefully we will get number 2 of this, right? And then number 3 and so on. Well, actually it'd be 5 and 6. But anyway, that was our comic book. We're not going to read this one today, but this was the other one that we picked up, which is pretty awesome. This is the Best of Peter David Volume 1. And it's got a beautiful collection of stuff in here. Look at this. Annual 3, Star Trek 13, Star Trek 14, Star Trek 15, Star Trek 19. We read Annual 3 on the channel, so you can go back and check that out. That one was awesome. And quite frankly, I've never not been entertained by Peter David's work. So whether it be a book, whether it be a comic, this was a really easy pickup for me. And the guy gave me a really good deal on it, so can't beat that, right? In other comic book news, they did announce they will be making a Starfleet Academy comic book. And I believe we're going to see probably over the next coming weeks the announcement of more comic books to come, right? As we kind of get into Star Trek 60, and they're going to be taking full advantage of that, and why not? Because it's exciting. 60 years of Star Trek, and still going strong. Lots to do, lots to talk about, and that's what we'll keep coming back here to do. So, as always, my friends, thanks for hanging out and listening. Live long and prosper. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.